doing?
Stacking wood?
You're not getting it straight. You're throwing it at the pile. It's going to fall over.
Looks good to me.
Well, look at this. It's turned way off the other direction. Your pile's leaning this way. Don't you want to keep it straight so it don't fall over?
Actually, yes. Matter of fact, it does fall over every year.
You turn these around and lay them in there, and you want to keep your pile straight. See, it's starting to lean a little bit. The top part here is leaning this way. It's because you're throwing them shorter than where you had them to start with. So we want to try to keep that nice and straight. You also want to be straight going up and down. Otherwise your pile's going to tip over on you.
It does look a little lopsided. I'm glad you showed up, so help me out.
Alright, well.
You tell me, where should we go next?
Why don't we start right on the end over here, because your pile's starting to get a little heavy over here. You want to get something to support the end. So you want to crisscross them so they'll lock each other.
Alright.
Why don't you grab a couple pieces,
give me a
similar
couple
size. Grab them the same size. And start right on the end.
Alright. So what are we talking?
Yeah, lay one down like that. Come right across with 3 of them.
And then, alright.
There you go. Now you take your next 2 pieces and lay them in the other direction. You want to keep it even toward the end.
Like this.
There you go. Just like that. And
Did
your
you put
middle
4?
one is
No.
your middle one's too big, so put it on the outside. Put the smaller one in the middle. That'll keep the pile from rocking back and forth.
Nice trade.
There you go.
And doesn't matter the space?
No, you can have a space in there. If you got some smaller pieces, you can stick them in the middle. That just adds to the support.
Is that too small?
Well, that might be good for starting your fire. That make kindling. Now you run another piece going in the other direction. And you see, if you look at that pile, you can see it starting to slant that way a little bit. So if you take one that's a little bit thicker than the other and put it on the outside, well, I think that one's a little skinnier.
Yeah, it is.
There you go. And then put the other one on the inside. And then you got to have a smaller piece for the middle.
Maybe.
And that evens out your pile so it don't slant toward the outside. And you just go back the other way again.
Sure I can't just do this?
Well, if it lands like that, that's not too bad.
Actually,
But these here aren't. We got to redo these because they're kind of uneven and they're not straight with the wood that's underneath it. So you can keep going over there, crisscross another one.
It's a good looking pile.
And you get the big gap underneath right here. So we want to move this a little closer and even it out a little bit. That's looking a lot better. That's pretty level now compared to where it was when you started. It was slanting right downhill, which if you kept going, it would have just been like a leaning tower. Over time it would fall right over. So this is looking pretty good. Now you just got to keep going with your corner and keep it level and square.
Level and square.
And we want to have a straight line going down through. We've got a couple you threw in here that are off a little bit still.
That's a nice chunk.
It's looking pretty good now. Looks pretty straight. And when you get pieces that are starting to slant the other way, you just get one that's thicker on the other end and lay it on top.
Oh, alright.
And it will even it out. And it keeps it nice and flat.
That's a pretty good chunk.
This one here, you got a big gap under it, and I got a small piece, so we can just stick that
Fill
right
it
in.
up. I'm trying to find some end pieces.
And your skinny ones are good for filling in the cracks, which helps stiffen up the pile.
Yeah.
There's another one there. And if you can fit any gaps, that you get one that's small enough to fit into it, it's good to fill it in. It makes the pile nice and tight.
So this is good having the lower one in the middle.
Right. You want your short ones
Higher,
in the middle so they don't
higher on the top.
They don't rock. And if you see it starting to get uneven, like right here, it's starting to taper this way, you get one a little bigger on the other side to compensate for the height change. And it makes it nice and level again. Looking good.